Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank B Choppin', and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, so we're jumping straight into this haircut. We didn't take no length off of this hair. All we're doing is a high taper. So as you can see, I'm starting off with my trimmer. These are the new GTX XOs, and I'm setting in my guideline pretty high. You know, I'm cutting off that whole C cup, and I'm making sure that line comes at a diagonal angle to the top of the ear. And then since I have the trimmers in my hand, I'm gonna go ahead and line them up behind the ear. And this is my preference. You ain't gotta do this now, but I just like to do it now since I already have the trimmers in my hand. Alright guys, so like I was saying, we ain't cutting any length off. We just giving them a high taper and lining them up. So we're gonna do our best to make this haircut just look nice. And now that bald line is set in, what I'm doing is I'm going in with my FX3s, the shavers, and I'm just hitting up that bald line, getting as short as I can. And then what I'm doing here is I'm debulking this side down with the number 4. Basically, I'm prepping this area for the taper. So I'm going in with that number 4 guard. And as you can see, I'm coming up and I'm floating the clipper, and I'm using a nice flick out motion. That way, this area fades into the longer hair a lot nicer. Alright, so now I'm going in with my Ergos from Quema. I got my lever all the way open. I had to think about that, I don't know why. But I have my lever all the way open, and then I'm going to fade this section down. Meaning, like I said, I'm going in all the way open, and then I'm going to close my lever halfway, come halfway into that section, and then close it all the way and attack that bottom line. And just for reference, just so y'all know, I do have the stretch bracket on this clipper. It's been something I've been just experimenting with these past couple weeks. I enjoy it, you know what I'm saying. It is a little different if you're not used to it. It may throw off your blueprint, or may throw off the way you fade for a little bit. But once you get used to it, man, it's really easy. I feel that it makes haircuts a little faster at certain times, and I just like using it. And I wasn't a big fan of the stretchy lever at first, the longer levers, but for whatever reason, I like them now, you know what I'm saying. Alright, but anyways, now I'm going in with my number 1 guard lever all the way open. And as you can see, I'm coming up and I'm using a flick out motion, setting in my next guideline. And the reason for that flick out motion, guys, is I want to make sure that I make this fade as easy as possible. So as you just saw, I started off with my lever open, and then I closed it all the way, and I came up right below what I did with my lever open. And now I'm going in with my number 1.5 guard, and my lever is open, and I'm using a flick out motion, and then I closed my lever and came right below that. And now I'm going in with my number 3 guard. And the longest guard that I used was a number 4, so I know this is gonna help fade into that number 4 really well. But I am going in with my lever open. As you can see, I'm flicking out using a flick out motion, floating that clipper, and then I'm closing my lever and coming right below what I did with that lever open, or with that clipper with the guard on it open, cleaning up behind the ear a little bit. And then after this, I'm gonna go down to my number 2 guard. So this is my number 2, guys. I have my lever open, and as you can see, I'm just trying to bring this haircut together. And this is basically my initial steps. After this, I went through all my guards. I went my 4, my 3, my 2, my 1.5, my 1. Only thing that I didn't use was my 0 guard, but I am going to use that to detail. So as you can see, I'm just attacking these areas where they need to be attacked, just to try to clean all this up and make this blend come together. And the thing about his hair is it's easy to fade, but since he has a small area right there for the taper, it's kind of hard to keep everything intact and keep everything the way you want it to look without going too high. Because if you bring this taper too high, it's gonna go into the top of the hair, right? So you don't want that, but at the same time, you don't want to keep it too low, because he does want it to be a higher taper and doesn't want the C cup. So now I'm going back in with my 1.5 guard. Did a little bit of detail work. Here is my 1 guard, doing some more detail work. I'm starting off with my lever open and just adjusting that lever closed little by little until I get the desired look that I'm looking for. And now this is my actual 0 guard, so I didn't use it in my initial steps, but I went back and I'm detailing with it. Same thing, guys. Started off with my lever open, and I'm just adjusting it open and closed, halfway, whatever you need to do. Now I'm going in with just my clipper, no guard. And remember, guys, this lever opens up a little more than normal, so I can do a lot more. I feel that I can do a lot more detail work with just with no guard on my clipper, and that's the reason why I decided to put this stretch bracket on there. Alright guys, so as y'all can see, that taper came together. I still got a little bit of work to do, but I decided to move on to the lineup just because I needed to take my eyes off the blend. And sometimes you need to do that, guys. If you look too hard at it, you're gonna start seeing stuff that ain't there. You're gonna overdo it, and you might mess the whole haircut up. So sometimes it's good just to move on and then come back to it at a later time. Alright guys, so what y'all see me doing here is I got my blending shears in my hand and I'm just trying to clean up any bulk that I may see, any dark areas I'm cleaning up with them blending shears. I like to use my blending shears for this because I'm really not taking off any length. I'm just cleaning up some small discrepancies, some small bulk that I may see. And you can actually use your regular shears if you like, but I like to use my blending shears during this process because I feel that it leaves me more room. They're a little bit more lenient towards it, so I don't want to say mess up, but if I did mess up, it wouldn't be a big issue. Alright guys, so now that side of the haircut is done, I'm moving on to the opposite side and I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm setting in my bald guideline and I'm gonna fade this section out. And as you can see, I'm going in with my number 4 guard, debulking, basically the same thing that I did on the opposite side. So remember guys, the number 4 guard is the longest guard that I use. I know a lot of people tell me like why I don't use clipper over comb or whatever. And honestly, the reason why I don't use a lot of clipper over comb is I feel sometimes it just takes away a lot of the gradients. Like I like for that gradients to be there. And when you use clipper over comb, it goes from light to dark really quick and you don't really see. I don't want to say you don't see a fade because it doesn't look like a chili bowl, but it just, I don't know, it fades it in differently. And I like to use my guards basically step by step and graduate. And anything longer than the 4, then I use the blending shears and clipper over comb. But for the most part, I can flick out that number 4 or float that number 4 up and out and really get that to be faded. And if needed, sometimes I use a 5 or a 6, but for the most part, I can do most of that work with the number 4. But anyways guys, as you can see, this side of the cut is coming together. I did the same exact steps. I may have did them in a slightly different order, but for the most part, I did the same exact thing. Tapered this side in. As you can see, it's already coming together. Obviously, I did speed this side up. But nonetheless, y'all can see what your boy is doing. You know, he putting in work. And just to say, I didn't say it earlier, I am going in with the FX3 Ferrari trimmer. And man, this trimmer is a hitter. I said that weird. This trimmer is a hitter. But you got to be careful, guys, because if you put too much pressure, you can scar your client. You might leave them a little irritated or whatever. So yeah, you know, I don't want to say you have to be light-handed, but you just have to be a little more cautious with it. And I think this was before I actually pushed the blade back. I think this was the first day I got those trimmers. But nonetheless, guys, I used it and I like it. You know what I'm saying? I really like them for lining up, especially long hair like that in front. Some clippers or some trimmers don't really cut that longer hair like that. So those trimmers were perfect for doing that. Alright guys, but as you can see, we moving on to the back of the cut and we doing the same exact thing that y'all saw me do on the sides. Only difference is we have a little more room to work with because we're doing it in the back, and I like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I needed some more room to work with. The sides came together pretty good, but sometimes when you have small areas to do that tapering, sometimes it's a little difficult. So what I would recommend is sometimes when you have that situation occur, whenever this situation occurs, when you have a little bit of space, start fading down a little bit. So use the number 4, number 3, number 2, and then set your guideline in and then just fade into that number 2. You know what I'm saying? I just feel that that's easier sometimes. And some videos I'll do it, some I won't, but when I'm in the shop just cutting, I change my techniques a little bit, and I just try to make everything as easy as I can make it for me. Now when I do videos, I do them a little different because I try to picture and think what I'm doing now and next. That way I can explain it to y'all easier. So the steps may be slightly different in my videos than when I cut in person, you know, when I'm actually just in the shop cutting. But for the most part, I use the same techniques. Only difference is I may do them slightly different or in a different order, but I'm still using the same steps. And when I'm in the shop cutting and when I'm not recording, I try to make things easier for me, and I try to make them more efficient and more fast. More fast? No, I try to make them faster. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all liking this video. If you haven't done so, please make sure to smash that like button. And make sure to drop a comment, guys. If you have any question about these clippers, any tools that I'm using, man, just get active in that comment section, guys. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I always try to respond to all my comments. But as y'all can see, this blend is coming together. It took me a little while to get the back situated, but for the most part, I feel like I got it going good. And yeah, man, this is basically the cut. I enjoy doing these haircuts because I like doing fades where they fade into longer hair. Some people don't like doing them, but I don't mind it. Alright guys, so now I am going in with my no drip from 245 and my 245 compressor, and I'm just adding a little bit of enhancements onto that line right there, just to make this blend pop a little more. And now I'm just hitting that line up with that razor, you know, making these lines a little sharper. And that's basically it, guys. Like, You know, this cut wasn't too much. You know, it was fairly easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's longer hair on top, but I feel like sometimes these cuts can be easier. It just depends on how you approach it and how you feel that it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't overthink it. But anyways, guys, y'all check it out. This is the final product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this haircut, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Y'all know your boy's been working, man. I got a lot more videos coming soon. I got some more unboxings, some more reviews, some more tutorials. I'm probably gonna start doing some vlogs again. But yeah, guys, that's basically it, YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, let's go.